3, 2, 1, action.
It's got to be.
I am ridiculously excited to be back. It's a big family. It's a big, like, clubhouse of kids.
All of us here together again. It's so surreal.
Beautiful.
It feels great coming back.
I'm so excited.
It's so exciting to be back. Coming back to play Jay feels great, like it really does.
Oh man, I'm so excited.
This is my crib.
D3 is something that I've always hoped would happen, and now that we're here, it's sort of, you know, it just feels right.
So when I say V, you say K. V, K, V, K.
We're in rehearsals at the moment. We're still doing just dance rehearsals and blocking, trying to make sure everyone's in the right place, they don't run into each other and fall over.
The rehearsal process and song record process, they're insane because they kind of happen simultaneously. It's really physically taxing, but it also gets you in shape for doing the marathon that is a Descendants movie.
It's really fun to be working in the rehearsal room, doing the dancing, doing the choreography, kind of getting that energy, and then going into the recording studio to do it.
Today we were in the studio doing Rotten to the Core, a new edition of it, a take on the first one, but with more characters and a lot of fun.
I'm rotten to the core. Who could ask for more? I'm nothing like the kid next door. I'm rotten to the core. I'm rotten to the core.
That was perfect.
Can I get a boom shakalaka? Yeah. Boom shakalaka like a boom shakalaka like a bow bow bow.
Hey, 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 hey.
Night Falls is going to be amazing. It's going to be epic. It's going to be that big number in the film that everyone's going to talk about.
We have a new choreographer named Jamal, and he is so good. The stuff that he's brought, you know, the energy that he's brought has been amazing.
We're all doing at least 10 hours a day of dance rehearsal. It's a lot of fun, but it's very, very busy.
We have to work with a bunch of stunt guys, and we have to choreograph the dance with the sword movements, which is a lot of moving parts.
The pressure that is there and the kind of individual that it takes to be able to stand up to that pressure is enormous.
We just slowly build in little pieces, and it eventually, over 4 weeks, just morphs into this beautiful production number. So that's my favorite thing to watch, is just the process of it all.
As hard as we work, that's like fun time. We get to be creative, and Kenny creates such a safe environment for us to mess up, to try new things, to have that be sort of the experimental time. That's probably my favorite part, when you see everything coming together. It's before everything's on wheels, when it feels very alive.
The fact that this is a job is pretty unbelievable. We get to sing and dance and make a Disney movie. It's really a fun job.
Well, I cannot wait now. Now I want to start.
I'm ready to go back to rehearsal.
3, 2, 1, action.
It's got to be.
We are on set the first day of shooting for Descendants 3, and we are starting with a bang. We are shooting Night Falls.
Nights, I will give you a 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
We are in a museum full of knights. All of the knights come to life, and we have to battle them.
We're battling knights, we're dancing, the knights are dancing, we're sword fighting. It was crazy and amazing all at the same time.
Okay, here we go.
Because each character has a different style of fighting. The choreography has to be very, very in tight. You know, you train for 2 months to shoot a scene that takes 2 days. So it's really cool when it all comes together.
It's day 2, and it just feels good to be with everybody. The core 4 together. That's what's really fun about today, is that the 4 of us are doing the scene together, and it's really nice.
Need it, want it, love it. Oh yes, boo-boo.
So being the 4 of us together, and we're in our costumes and our blue hair, in the Isle of the Lost, it's like home.
We are on the Dr. Facilier set, which is Celia's dad, one of our new little VKs that we're bringing along with us to Oregon. It was sort of like a nice little core 4 moment.
You make sure you get your cut.
Make sure you get your cut.
Dr. Facilier's set is absolutely amazing. When I walked on, I was like, this is my spot. It was crazy.
We're gonna go to set right now.
See you later.
Anybody wanna be like us? Everybody wanna be like us.
Welcome to the Isle of the Lost. We are shooting our opening number, and it's a very exciting day.
The opening is one of my favorites. It is good to be bad. Each character has their own vignette.
It really is the epitome of who the villain kids are in the opening of Descendants 3. We're back on the aisle in all our glory.
Yeah, the dance moves from this one are really crazy. It's a lot of shapes and it's a lot of levels and it's very smooth and it's very funky.
We got some crazy stuff happening, just how the aisle should be, real gross and grimy.
We shot this thing over like 7 days, so we can't even like envision how it's gonna look, so we're really excited.
Remember that.
Carlos is looking down here, and he's looking up here, and now
It's a really incredible shoot. We're pulling off a really huge movie, so we're here day in and day out for hours and hours on end. I think it's our favorite place to be. It's my favorite place to be in the world is to be on set. I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's a little bit surreal. It's all sort of coming together, and it's crazy that it's just going to happen, and then it's going to be a movie.
this cast really, really turns it out, spills it every single time the music is turned on, and it makes it real easy for me to open my eyes every morning and get excited to come to work. Three, two, one, action.
It's got to be. Hey, check it out! Oh my gosh, look at this! It's VK Day!
The villain kids, they're heroes now. These four were plucked off the aisle, brought into Oridon, and they did right.
I am so happy this day has finally arrived!
In the first film, they were kind of like bad with the intentions of hurting the good people. In the second film, they think maybe we're only good. And in the third film, it's like, no, you can be everything.
We are no longer ashamed of where we come from. We're back in their neighborhood, waking up the aisle and bringing the good news.
We're basically telling all the villain kids we all are gonna be able to get our chance now. So that's sort of where we start out. Come on.
I think that Mal's relationship is changing with everyone because Mal's relationship with herself is changing so immensely. Well, her relationship with Evie is the same. She's her best friend, but as well, she has to get some space from her. She has to get space from Jay and Carlos and basically become the person who she was meant to be.
For 16 years, I had nothing.
Since you last saw Jay, he really, I think, has found his place and found his meaning of what he wants to do and who he is as a person. He's becoming a man.
Being Carlos again is a fun time. He's sort of a guy that you really root for. He's a likable kid, and, you know, being a likable kid is fun.
One of my favorite parts about Evie is her generosity and how big her heart is now. Everything she does is kind of guided by that, and you really get to see that in D3.
Here they come. Mal and Ben are madly in love. And yeah, you propose. You get all lovey-dovey.
Yeah, I do.
There's a real vulnerability to Ben, which allows the room and the space for Mal to be awe-inspiring. Mal's a dragon. She has to have somebody who's very soft, sweet, and sensitive, and that's what Ben is for her.
Down on my knees.
Carlos and Jane are just the youngest couple, and it's so evident. They're still sort of infatuated with each other in like a very youthful, innocent way. And it's awesome because Mal and Ben have this sort of sophisticated relationship, and Carlos is still like stressing about Jane's birthday, like, oh, I hope I get her something good for her birthday. So it's a fun relationship, and you definitely root for them. It's fine. You know what? I can remake it. It's cool. It's fine.
So as we know, Evie and Doug have been very close since the first movie, but you know, they're in that moment in a relationship where you don't know if the other person loves you. Like, does he love me? Does he love me not? You really see her become the teenager that she is and have the breakdown that we all have when we're in love for the first time. What would I do without you?
It's something nice about revisiting a character that you've played once before. I know more about him, and I feel like I know more about him, and the character's become even more like myself.
I'm really excited to sort of give him that growth that people have been wanting to see, and he's very sort of innocent and pure, and he has really good qualities about him. I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
As an actor portraying a character, I've always felt I had a really good handle on Mal. She's probably my favorite character that I've ever played. So it's incredible to be able to come back and show them where Mal goes next. Feels wonderful. Feels like a great privilege.
My mom always says that friends are the family that we choose. And I think that is exactly who the VKs are. In times of need or in times of crises, you always kind of see them come together.
You get so invested, you fall in love with these people, and you feel like you live in this world with them, and you want to, as an audience member, be let in on the rest of it. And I feel like the third one is really like a big step into the rest of it.